you guys, it's me. I'm here, and I'm finally getting around to that Q&A that I set up for you guys like a month ago. It was a while. It was a while ago. So I'm really excited to finally get to tell you guys all this fun stuff that you want to know. Let's talk about it. First question. What got you started on making mashups? 3 separate people asked a variation on this question. It was Diamond Bricks, who was wonderful. That's the guy that made that one fucking funny Whopper mashup. You guys know who that is. Friend of the channel, Drago2143, creator of Magic Damage, which is one of my favorite mashup albums of the last year, of 2023. And Lizard on Fire. Now, Lizard on Fire, by the way, I always make the joke that they're a Charizard. I don't know if that was the intent of their name. I don't know if it's supposed to be Lizard on Fire or Lizard on Fire. I always say that to them, and they never actually confirmed if that was the joke. But yeah, they all basically asked what got me started on making mashups, and the short answer is mashups and other mashup creators. I was a fan first, like I think a lot of people were. I was a fan of the scene. I loved watching Alec play mashup albums from people like Jazz and Photon, and I would always hear them forming in my head, like half-formed mashup ideas, and I was just like, I wish I had tools to make this a reality. And then we entered, if you know, you know, but we entered the Soundtrap era, which was fun, but not the easiest. And now we're in the Reaper era, which has its own set of troubles, but I'm still having fun with. But yeah, that's pretty much how we got here. Do I do stem separation? This was an anonymous user that asked this. They asked, do you do stem separation? If so, what is the preferred method? Otherwise, where do you get stems? Yes, when I have to. Most of the time I rely on stems that have already been separated by other people. So what we specifically have is a series of various archives that are independently hosted by different people. The one that I have gotten the most mileage out of personally is the Rock Band stem spreadsheet, where somebody has taken it upon themselves to get either stem rips from every Rock Band game or manually isolate all of the other ones that don't have stems in Rock Band games. So basically every song that's ever been in a Rock Band game has a massive archive of stems that's just sitting right there that you guys can all use. I'll try and put a link to it in the description. I know links are not working right now because Google are fascist. That's the basic thing. Otherwise, if I don't have stems in there and I can't find anything on YouTube, that's really just what I do, is I just look on YouTube and find if somebody else has already done this work for me, or if the artists themselves have actually dropped those multi-tracks and somebody's put them on YouTube. There are other avenues that I don't know as much about, but the big thing is either the Rock Band spreadsheet, or I just look on YouTube, and if I can't find anything there, then I resort to using MVSEP. And MVSEP, which is the website where a lot of us are using those AI isolation models, I don't really have a set answer of what is the best model to use. It really depends on what you want from the music and what kind of music it is, because a lot of those models work really differently and will get you a lot of varied results, and a lot of different music doesn't isolate very well. Like, I'm mostly out here trying to get vocals out of hip-hop and EDM mixes. That can be kind of hard. If it's like a really complicated mix, it can be kind of tough. The model that I use the most frequently, that a lot of my friends have agreed is one of the better ones to just get a clean vocal rip, is BS Rowformer. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty consistently good. Otherwise, if that's not what you want, experiment. Just have fun with it. Friend of the channel, Ben Animated, says, best mashup idea you didn't or couldn't make. Let me see what the actual best or funniest idea you had for a mashup that you couldn't use or weren't able to figure out. The answer I have in mind for this is actually I'm currently in the process of assembling Bird Brain Radio Volume 2 as promised, and the issue that I had was that I had a very clear idea of what I wanted the intro track to be, and I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, because a version of this idea was still able to happen, but the original instrumental that I wanted to use was, like I was saying about MBSEP not being the most reliable thing, it was not isolating well at all. I could not get a clean instrumental rip of it. And I couldn't find one anywhere, and I didn't know what else to do, because it's like, I can tell you guys what it was because I didn't end up using it's Hadoken. I believe they're the band Hadoken. The song is called MAD, and I found out in my searching that it was apparently in The Sims at one point, and they recorded an entire Simlish vocal track for it, which was crazy. But that didn't isolate any better either. But yeah, it's just, the mix is really full and loud and complicated, and it's hard to get vocals out of that. So unfortunately that was not able to work out, but I did find a different version of that track, or a different instrumental to use for that track, that is working significantly better. I guess that's my answer. I was really proud of that idea, because MAD sounds really cool, but what are you gonna do? Friend of the channel, Laura asks, favorite mashup by a lesser known creator. Now, a lot of people that have asked me questions are quote-unquote lesser-known creators. I really qualify as a lesser-known creator. I'm just, you know, the mind behind a massive meme that spread far beyond anywhere I expected it to. But a lot of people that have found El Horso don't necessarily know me or my stuff, or the other people that worked on El Horso. And so, for that reason, I know he has, like, technically more subs than me right now and has been in the game longer, but, like, if y'all still haven't checked out Pharaoh Lad, you gotta do it. He's so good. He's so consistently good. Invisible City is, I think, maybe still my favorite mashup album this year. It was so beautiful, and it hit me so hard right when it was live. Like, if you look in that live chat, I am having an emotional experience. What else? I already mentioned Drago. Drago has a couple really solid tracks on Magic Damage that just knocked me out of my fucking seat. Specifically the one that is, I believe it is Jars of Clay. Like, Jars of Clay. She used Jars of Clay. That is, if you guys don't know, if you're not from the fucking Bible Belt or whatever, that is a Christian band that made, you know, Christian contemporary music in the fucking 90s and 2000s. That they had one, like, mainstream alternative song called Flood, which is what the mashup is of, and it's really good. It like fits really well into that 90s alt aesthetic that I really, really vibe with. Drago put, like, I want to say it was Smells Like Teen Spirit on that, and then threw in fucking Veruca Salt's original version of Seether. As a 90s hoe, I was obsessed. It made me very, very happy. So those are my recommendations. I actually have a full playlist on my channel of just mashup albums that I really, really love, and there's a couple names on there that I think are not getting enough attention that I really want the word to spread about. I know Gibby's on there, I think. Did I put Gibby on there? Gaming in the Manson Years? I talk about Gibby all the time. Gibby featured on Head. Gibby worked on El Zebro. They are amazing and deserve so much more attention on their mashups and on their original work as Church Burner. Just please go check out Gibby if you like IDM and noise noise music. Gibby makes a lot of really aggressive, like, ear bleedy in a good way kind of stuff, and I just really want people to check out their stuff because they are a crazy talent. Okay, thank you, Alora. Okay, let me find the specific one. It says, if you could collab with one specific artist, whether another mashup artist or an industry musician, without having to worry about copyright or anything, who would it be and why? That was submitted by Naya. Thank you. I actually don't know who this is, so thank you for that. If we're talking other mashup artists, there's one person that comes to mind immediately who has a lot of the same taste as me, but as far as I know, doesn't really do collabs. They're mostly known for AB, and I say this a lot. If you have never heard me say AB or another creator say AB, really that's just one song, another song, bam, there you go. That's pretty much how it is. Like, if you're thinking mashup, that is probably a thing that you're thinking of. I don't do them a whole lot. I've tried to, like, step back on my ambitions and do them just to create things. So I have been moving more into the AB sphere, but with like a couple extras. I don't like to just have it be too boring or predictable. Like, if a mashup works, then it works, and if it stands on its own with that, then great. But for me, for my creative process, I like to have a little more going on than just 2 songs. But when it comes to people that do the ABs really well, somebody that jumps to mind immediately for a dream collab is Lewis Wake. Lewis Wake is really good. Really good at what he does. And he does a lot of, like, at least when I was watching consistently what he was doing, he did a lot of, like, weird obscure picks that were things that I wanted to see that nobody else was doing. Like, he was doing fucking churches. I love churches. And I hadn't seen a whole lot of other people do that. Like, there are churches mashes around. Like, I can't remember if it was One More Jew, but I feel like One More Jew had a few. Yeah, Lewis Wake was throwing out churches. He was throwing out Porter Robinson. Just a bunch of stuff that I really like. And I was super impressed. I believe the thing that I found him on was, it was around September 21st, which is, you know, a mashup holiday. And it was September mixed with Porter's Language, which is, you know, one of the prettiest and best Porter songs. And I was blown away. I was immediately so captivated by that. He has a few really good Paramore ones. You know, just stuff that I love and that I do. And I'm just like, I really want to see what his mind and my style could come up with. So I think that'd be cool. Also, I mean, this is a pretty obvious one, but William Rancy, I've been, you know, hanging out in his streams a fair bit over the past few months. He's played basically everything I've ever done, except for like 1 or 2 other things. And we seem to get along pretty well. And he also is typically more of an A-Beer, at least in the singles. I regrettably have not listened to enough of his like actual albums, and I really should get on that. But I've always respected the kind of stuff that he's able to pull off. He's got a much better ear for mixing than me. Got a really good ear for like identifying keys that I'm not necessarily the best at, but we do have very different styles. Again, the same thing with me and Lewis Wake maybe not being the best match is I don't know that I've ever seen Moranci do the kind of stuff that I like to do. And that's not a knock against him or against Lewis or against anybody else that primarily deals in ABs. If you're good at that and you're making stuff that makes you happy, that is awesome. And most of the time, I'm hearing that stuff that is making you guys happy, and I'm really loving it. But like, I still want to do projects that are creatively fulfilling for me, and stuff like The is as goofy and weird as The ended up being. It was very creatively fulfilling for me. There was a lot of fun in that process. So I guess that's my answer: is Lewis Wake, William Rancy, and just cause I'll also just drop Pluff's name in here. Pluff would be really cool. Oh, and Duzu. Fucking Duzu. Duzu is way closer to my style. If Duzu was taking like collab options, like if Duzu was open to collabs, I'd be jumping on that. Holy shit. They also asked about industry musicians. I mean, I've been working on like making original beats and stuff. So if I could get like a serious rapper on a beat of mine, I think I'd be pretty Pretty proud of that. I think it's, I don't want to shoot too high and immediately say Kendrick, because that would absolutely never happen, but other rappers I like, other like smaller scale rappers that are still working that I like. But I've been like mostly, when it comes to hip hop and stuff, I've been mostly just listening to MF Doom lately. I mean, it'd be cool to like have a beat for fucking Jurassic 5 or somebody. I like them a lot. I love Jurassic 5. I don't know, like Lil Uzi Vert maybe? I most of the stuff I've heard from Lil Uzi Vert I think is pretty good. I really like the production on the kind of beats that they put out. I don't know necessarily who does them, but I like them. So I guess I'm mostly just looking at collabing with producers. And in that case, I think Bureaucratic would be fun. I really love Bureaucratic's work, specifically for the Dissect podcast. They did all the original theme music for that podcast for a very long time, and I'm a very big fan of that podcast, and I really respect Bureaucratic's style. I like the early stuff where it was like merged with hip-hop and Complextro, like that kind of stuff. Because like Complextro, that's where my brain lives. Like shit like Madeon, shit like early Porter, I'm all about that shit. There's something else I had in mind. I mean, I guess I could just say Porter or Madeon, but like, I don't know. Oh, fucking Jai Wolf. I saw Jai Wolf open for Porter Robinson on the Nurture Tour, and it was absolutely incredible. That dude makes some really pretty music. I think it'd be really cool to work with him. Okay, I'm gonna shut up about music for a while. Because Diamond wants to know what my other hobbies and interests are. Thank you again, Diamond. I've been hitting Twitch streaming pretty hard again. We're still doing our Homestuck fundraiser on Twitch, where I'm just reading through Homestuck with Jazzwave and a bunch of our friends, and it's fun. It's fun to revisit Homestuck like this, and it's fun to get some more voice acting work in, because that's a thing that is a major interest of mine. I love the craft of voice acting. I really respect a lot of people that are able to do that really well. I watched fucking the Dungeon Meshi dub this year, the Delicious in Dungeon. I watched that this year, and I was blown away consistently by the work that Damien Haas and Someone Show, and is it Emily Rudd? Is that who it is? It's the same person that Netflix got for Nami in the live action One Piece. I believe that's Marcel. Yeah, that dub is fantastic. Consistently, just across the board, every performance is killer. Damien Haas and Someone Show especially, who I also just am a huge fan of separately. I love voice acting. I love studying what voice acting is like all about, like how to do it well. And I just, I don't have necessarily the best resources to make that happen for myself, but I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. I like getting into a character and just sitting in that for a while. I am working on, I made an update recently about wanting to branch into podcasting, and that is actually making some serious progress. I'll have more to say about that in a while, not necessarily a long while. We want to have a certain amount of stuff backlogged so that we can consistently have uploads for a while before we actually start, before we actually go live on everything. But work is being done. That's part of why I've been making original beats, is for theme songs for those podcasts that I'm working on with friends. When it comes to other hobbies and interests, mostly it's just gaming right now. Like, I'm having fun on Twitch. I just streamed Sonic 06 last night, and probably going to be doing some more of that for a while. We're going to do Sonic Unleashed when that's done. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I mean, I have a lot of other interests. Like, I'm starting to work on my pixel art stuff. I don't, like, actually draw or anything, but I follow a lot of really cool artists. Like, I watch Drawfee a lot. I have an affinity for improv comedy, I guess. Like, I watch Dropout all the time, and there's a lot of great improv happening over there. I grew up watching fucking Whose Line Is It Anyway? I was training to be in an improv group in college, and then I just never got to be in a show, and I dropped out. of college, not just of the group. But yeah, I was doing that for a while. That was fun. But yeah, I guess just like music, gaming, Toku. Yeah, I have so much fucking Godzilla merch now. I have like 3 separate things that I'm gonna hang on my wall when I move that are all Godzilla. It's great. Now for the big one. With regard to other hobbies and interests, it is mostly gaming, as I said. So the inevitable question that had to come up in this at some point was Drago asked me my favorite video game, and I am unfortunately unable to stop at one. So I'm just gonna rattle off a bunch for a while. I'm gonna make myself invisible for this. How? Let's get into this. Alright, so here are a few favorites. Kingdom Hearts was a lifelong love. Started at a very young age and just hasn't stopped. I love Kingdom Hearts. I go back to it somewhat frequently. After I get moved, I'm planning to attempt proper full series platinum if possible when I have access to stream from a PS4. I'm definitely going to try to do that. And in terms of which is the best one, it's 2. It's 2. I'm sorry. I know that that's a boring take to most of us and an infuriating take to those that don't agree, but it's 2. There's just something about the cool factor in 2 that is higher than it's ever been. With the first game, it was very innocent and cute, and then for the second game, all that energy that they put into being cute, they diverted a significant amount of it and dumped it into the cool factor. The cool level is just off the fucking charts in 2. The closest that they've come since is 3, and 3 is way better than I gave it credit for at the time, but like, it's just not quite there, you know? There's a lot of really cool shit going on, but I feel like it's also, most of the power that I'm getting from 3 is emotional resonance, because I think a lot of the storytelling and the script writing on the dub is like way better. I think like individual character arcs are really dominating 3 in a way that they don't necessarily do in 2, and I think that that is definitely a high point of 3. But like 2 is just way more fun. I'm sorry. It is. Persona. Wow, what an original take. I like Persona. I love Persona 3. I love Persona 5. I've not played enough of Persona 4 to say that I love it earnestly, but I really like the world of it. I like the story. I like the characters. And I watched the anime a couple of times, so I at least feel like I can say that. But Persona 3 is wonderful. I really like the gameplay loop of it better. I don't know what it is about it. It just, you know, hits me better than just playing Persona 5. I don't know what it is. I've not played Reload yet, but I definitely wanna. And here we have the first 2 games that I remember playing. Not Sonic Frontiers, obviously, but Sonic 2 is the earliest game I have memories of. Sonic 2, good. Sonic 3, better. But I specifically have Frontiers here because holy shit. Frontiers has a lot of great stuff going for it. I played it again recently, and it's not like quite as good as I remembered it. But most of the stuff that I love about it is still there and strong. I don't know, man. I had a great time. I had a fantastic time with Frontiers the first time. And then down here we have Spyro. Spyro's the first game I owned, and it might be the first game that I ever 100% cleared that has like actual percentages of clearing that you can do. Yeah, I fucking love Spyro. I've been playing Spyro my whole entire life. I can beat the first game 120% in about 4 hours. If I'm like really trying, I can go under 4 hours. If I'm messing around a little bit, it's closer to 5, I guess. But yeah, I can single sitting a Spyro. I'm definitely gonna do a lot more of Spyro once I moved and can stream consistently from a PS4. I'll be able to stream Reignited all the fucking time. It'll definitely go for like another full platinum of that. I have full platinumed it already, but I'll do it again. Fuck it. No More Heroes is fun. I've been meaning to stream that one for a while. I probably could. I could probably start streaming it now. The issue with it is just that it's super violent and also pretty raunchy. So certain subsets of my audience, and also Eli, might not have the best time with it. But I love it. I think it's a fantastic series with a lot of really, really fun stuff to do. I think the combat feels really good. I love a lot of the character design. I think is one of the high points of it. Music is consistently really strong. It just has a fun vibe. I don't know if I can put it into any better words than that. It's just fun. It's just really fun. Okay, second slide. Yeah, you're in this for the long haul. DJ Hero. The real origin point of really just my entire taste in music is Guitar Hero, but specifically the mashups and my taste in hip-hop and EDM is specifically from discovering DJ Hero. We would not be here doing what we're doing if we didn't have Daft Punk's mixes in DJ Hero. But like that's just a true fact. DJ Hero is fantastic. If you have a way to play it, if you're able to track down a turntable, I recommend. It's one of the best rhythm games I've ever played. Kirby. I love Kirby. Kirby's super fun. Superstar Ultra is definitely the Kirby game I've played the most, and that's just because it's, pretty easy. There have been a couple of times where I've just had a day off, and this hasn't happened in a very long time, but I would just 100% Kirby Superstar Ultra in one go, which sounds like a lot. It's not actually that difficult. It is a pretty easy game. I feel like it's a good gateway into Kirby as a whole, to where you get to experience a whole lot of different kinds of what a Kirby game can be, and then from there you can just pick other ones that you want. I also recommend Kirby 64. It's very different. The copyability system is not like any other game, but it's fun. It's a good one. Bleach Brave Souls. I have a few on-again, off-again mobile gaming addictions, and Bleach is one of the most consistent. But this is a really good mobile game. It's a gacha game that doesn't feel nearly as predatory. All ads are optional. I've never had to spend any money on it. And there's a lot of just good content that you're able to get into without even having to do gacha pulls. I mean, they incentivize doing it, but there's so much great single player content that you're never running out of things to do. There's no crazy unrealistic restrictions on what you can and can't do. They will shower rewards onto you all the time. There is a sort of mobile game time limit on you have to do you can only do this many missions and then you have to wait for however long. While that used to be a lot more strict, they actually multiplied that time limit by 10. So you can clear out a significant chunk of that single player story campaign without ever having to hit that hard limit. Yeah, if you're just getting into it, you shouldn't feel a lot of that mobile game pressure on you at all. Granted, I got into it 8-9 years ago, so I don't necessarily know what it's like to start the game from the beginning now, but I don't feel like you're gonna be struggling that much. I did try and start over a while ago, and it felt fine. It felt great. So if you like Bleach at all, I recommend. But if you do like Bleach at all, you probably are already playing, so speaking of stuff that a lot of people are already playing, definitely a big Pokemon head. I definitely want to start streaming a lot more Pokemon eventually. I would like to just do a regular playthrough of Emerald and just actually do everything that I can. I want to figure out how contests worked. I want to do the battle frontier, just all of that. Also, I don't think I've ever actually just beaten Emerald, so I might as well just do that. But mostly I get into Nuzlocke, and I actually have found a few really fun ROM hacks. I played this one ROM hack of Emerald that is significantly updated. It should have every Pokemon up to Gen 9, and specific ways to unlock all the legendaries and stuff. There's, you know, built-in player character customization in terms of like you can pick a whole bunch of different sprites of characters, again up to Gen 9. I mostly play as Marnie from Sword and Shield. You get to pick like there's like 60 starter options, and the big draw of that one is if you can figure it out, there is a way to do remote multiplayer. It's built, I think, mostly for local multiplayer, but if you can get it to work on like Parsec or something, I believe it's also built to do that. It's called Pokemon Quetzal. That's Quetzal, like the fucking, I don't remember which South American ancient civilization invented Quetzalcoatl, but it's spelled like that. It's really cool. But I'm also on Showdown right now, mostly just doing, you know, Gen 9 randoms, but if I get to learn a little bit more about the meta and how it works right now, I might like start doing consistent teams for main metas. I don't know, it could be fun. But yeah, you can find me on Showdown. I am just update CORVUS on Showdown. Metroid is a big one. Metroid's a huge one for me. The Prime trilogy is a banger. Can't wait for the fourth one. If I have to pick a favorite, it is probably the first one. I think they're all really, really good, but I think they do different things really well. Metroid Prime 1 just feels the most like a fun standalone adventure. Metroid Prime 2 has a lot of really cool ideas, and I really like the dark versus light system when it comes to your weaponry. I feel like it gets a little bogged down in too much backtracking and exploration, like over exploration. And also I feel like a lot of the boss designs are, I mean boss design like in terms of actual gameplay. I feel like a lot of the bosses are designed to be more annoying, and it could just be a lot. It could be a kind of a sensory overload. Metroid Prime 3 does bigger scale really well. It does better storytelling really well. It just feels a little, there's just something that doesn't feel like it's quite there, you know? The fact that you're so established in the trilogy and in the greater Metroid universe at this point, I think it makes it feel like you're too established. I think you know where you are too well. I think you know the setting too well. And I think Metroid thrives on mystery and atmosphere. Metroid Prime 3 is really good. Has some of the better boss designs, I think, in terms of like actual gameplay. I'm mostly talking about the rival hunters, the Run to Score and Gandreda fights. The other bosses are like hit or miss, except for, you know, that first Meta Ridley fight where you're dropping down the fucking giant elevator shaft or whatever. That's pretty dope. But yeah, Metroid Prime, the original, is just great. At this point, I think I have probably played it the most. So, but also Super Metroid, I have played. What I really want to do when I have access to a Switch is Dread. I really want to get to Metroid Dread. I should probably actually finish Metroid Fusion before I do that, though. We'll work on that. I might stream it. We'll see. Obviously, I have a lot of Mario experience, mostly in the kart and party varieties. But, like, who doesn't love Mario Galaxy? It's fantastic. It's definitely the best 3D platformer, I think. Do I have a favorite 2D? I haven't played Super Mario World very much at all, so I guess I would just go with Mario 3. But, like, it's Mario. Most of them are just really, really good. Okay, Slide 3. I've been getting into fighting games a lot. I guess I can shout him out. I always shout him out, but there's a specific channel on YouTube by the name of Thorgy's Arcade, who makes a lot of really great fighting game content. If you've noticed that trend around of YouTube creators just fan-making specific rosters for fighting games that don't exist yet, I wouldn't say he is solely responsible for that trend, but he definitely proliferated it. And in that, he also has introduced me to a lot of great series that I had heard of and not really experienced before. So he was a great gateway into a lot of the games that you're seeing here for me. Obviously, I grew up playing Smash. I've played Smash all the time. I've played every game, actually, which at this point I feel like is kind of rare, because did they even put Smash 64 on Switch Online yet? It feels weird that they wouldn't. The big stream plan once I am moved is I want to do maybe not a subathon, but a donathon, where I unlock every character in every Smash game. It will take a while. That's a good few days, but I'm really excited to do that. I saw another Smash creator that I really like, Aaron Itmar, did that back in 2020. And just ever since, I've been like, I really want to do that because I love the dopamine rush of unlocking things, and Smash is a gold mine of doing that. I also tried to do a 100%ing Melee stream series for a while last year. I was enjoying the dopamine rush for a while, and then it stopped happening because the unlocks sort of staggered. Like, I got every character in a few stages, and then it became a lot harder to do a lot of things. Actually, did I even unlock every character? I might not have even gotten a Game & Watch. I don't know. The big fighting game series that I'm most interested in fully immersing myself in because of Gorgie and what he's done is BlazBlue. BlazBlue is extremely fascinating to me. The lore is crazy, which I'm definitely down for, but a lot of the character designs are really cool, and when I actually picked up Calamity Trigger, it was so fun! It's really, really fun. I don't necessarily know if I have a main yet. Oh, I didn't even say. I have different mains in Smash depending on which game I'm playing, of course. I guess Pikachu is like the default, quote-unquote, best option, like the equivalent to Fox in Smash 64. So I guess I'll play Pikachu in Smash 64, but he's not necessarily the one that I'm most excited to play. When it comes to Melee, I tend to go for Roy, but in either of those games, and really in any game, I'm mostly going to be a Captain Falcon main. Because why wouldn't I? He's so fun. He's basically a Kamen Rider. We know how I feel about them. I just really like playing as Captain Falcon. In Brawl, I was an actual Pikachu main for a while. I was a Ness main for a while. I was a Zelda main for a while. But I do tend to just drift back to Captain Falcon, specifically in Brawl. There's nobody else in Brawl that really, really hits for me the same way that he does. And then, of course, in Smash 4, in Ultimate, Cloud all the way. I like to just put on random matches with somebody where they can either have their main or also do random. And I don't know, I'm pretty consistently winning at those. I like to just get a grasp for as many characters as I can. Ridley's really fun in Ultimate. Love playing Ridley. But yeah, it's mostly Cloud. I haven't played a lot of the DLC characters yet, so once I'm done with my fun Dono-thon, I'm definitely going to hop on that. But yeah, BlazBlue. If I have a main in BlazBlue, it is probably... I keep wanting to say Kai, like it's Guilty Gear, but no, it's Jin. I like playing Jin a lot. I also like playing Noelle. I did also get BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, which is really fun. I feel like it got, like, overly dumped on for a while. I have a lot of fun with it. And it's not just because I love Persona and Ruby. It's just fun. I have a good time with it. I obviously made Neo in that one. Tekken! When it comes to the war between Street Fighter and Tekken, I like Street Fighter's characters more, I think. But Tekken feels better to play. I haven't played Street Fighter 6, so I don't necessarily know if I know what I'm talking about. But I really like Tekken, as I've been playing Tekken 7 a little bit. I really, really like it. I haven't fully decided on a main yet, but, I mean, Eddie Gordo's fun. I tried to get into Jin specifically, though, because I really like Jin as a character, and it's fun. It's good. It's a good time. King of Fighters! I specifically got King of Fighters 14 because I didn't want to pay the price for 15 just yet, but I really like it. I really like King of Fighters. Again, we got crazy weird lore, we got a lot of really cool characters. I've learned a lot about SNK that I didn't know before, and what I did know because of Smash is that I love Terry Bogard. I'm absolutely a Terry main. He's so much fun. But the big one for me before this fighting game boom, and in a way even like separate from that of Smash, is Dissidia Final Fantasy. When I say that I want so many other fighting games to be like Dissidia, I feel like nobody agrees with me, and I don't care, because I really want more fighting games to play like Dissidia. It's so fucking cool to me. I love the way that they merge fighting game style and RPG style. It is an arena fighter, but it does it in a cool way. I love that, like, you have your summons and stuff. I love all the just different Final Fantasy lore that's sprinkled into it. I didn't bring up Final Fantasy before this, but I love Final Fantasy. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and 9 is my favorite. And I will have you know that I did, in fact, grind Zidane up to level 100 in Dissidia. And beyond that, I was also a Kuja main, because Kuja is my favorite Final Fantasy character overall. And I love that Dissidia did not shy away from including 9 like so many other things seem to. Like, Final Fantasy, when they do big crossover stuff, they go hard. And they like to not leave too many corners untouched when it comes to representing their history. So I really respect a lot of that. And I especially respect when they include Final Fantasy IX, because it's the best one. Okay. Other games. Slide 4. Yes, there's so many slides. Asura's Wrath is really fun. I really don't know what to say to make you play this game, other than if you like God of War, like classic God of War, but you want more high-octane craziness, more anime bullshit, Asura's Wrath is the game. It is so crazy. You see this guy back here? You see this guy in the background? That is the first boss, and he is bigger than the planet that you're on. That's the selling point of Asura's Wrath right there, is scale. Crazy scale. Super fucking fun action, really flashy aesthetic. They treat it like you are playing an anime, like a full season of an anime. The thing that turns off a lot of people about it is the presence of on-disc DLC that you had to pay for separately. That is, you know, the true ending of the game. I hate that. Capcom can suck my ass for that. It's still a fucking fantastic game that is absolutely worth your time and worth that extra charge for the true ending, because it's the best part of the game. Shadow of the Colossus. I feel like if you've played Shadow of the Colossus, you love it. I feel like that there's no way to come away from this game without really having an appreciation for the art of it, for the story, for the design, and just everything about it is so fucking beautiful. It can be a little frustrating, I think, if you're going in without knowing all the tricks, but it also is just really satisfying to solve the puzzle, because it's essentially a really big puzzle game. And that's just kind of the stuff that I like. I like puzzle bosses, I really do. You might be able to figure that out by the other game on this slide. Saints Row is fun. Saints Row is really fun. I think I'm going to start streaming Saints Row soon. I always found it more fun than Grand Theft Auto, because GTA, at least when I was playing GTA 5, it seemed way too committed to realism, to where you can just do random, boring real-life minigames. You can play tennis. You can do yoga. You can sit on the couch and fucking smoke a blunt. You can go to a strip club. That's life, you know? It's boring. Saints Row is a cartoon. You can smack people upside the head with a 3-foot floppy purple dildo. There's a minigame where you play Crazy Taxi, and you have a tiger in the backseat that is mauling you as you progress. There's a minigame where you have to jump in front of moving vehicles and do as much damage to yourself as possible, and then get sent flying into other moving vehicles for money. There's a minigame where you're on a game show where it's like you're running through a fucking Legends of the Hidden Temple maze, but it's also an active war zone, and you have to fucking murder a few dozen people in order to win the game show. You get crazy ass superpowers. You get any game with a designated nutshot button, like a single input, you can smack somebody in the crotch. That's a winner. Any game with a designated wrestling move button, that's a winner. That's something that Saints Row and No More Heroes have in common. This game rules. Saints Row is so fun. It's fun in ways that GTA has never been. And of course, I couldn't bring up games that I love without talking about Metal Gear. And of course, it's Metal Gear Solid 3 specifically. I am boring. It is really, really good. I don't have to tell you why Metal Gear Solid is really good. It's obviously a huge success that a lot of people really love. So what I will say is I am a little less boring about this in terms of which bosses I like the most. My favorite bosses in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3 are Vulcan Raven and the Fury, because they are the same boss fight, but it's a really fun concept where they are just tracking you through a maze with a massive weapon that will annihilate you the second you step into its crosshairs. It's so cool! The Fury especially. The Fury is my favorite boss in the entire series because it's also pitch black and the weapon in question is a massive fuck-off flamethrower. Incredible. So fucking good. Okay, Metal Gear Solid 3 is great. Let's move on to indie games! Bet you thought I was gonna wrap up. Undertale and Deltarune, I don't need to tell you why they're great. You know why they're great. Go play them if you haven't. But do it blind! Play them blind! It is so much better of an experience if you don't know what it is going into it. Risk of Rain 2 is a fun one. I don't have a ton of roguelike experience, which sounds weird when I have it right under a Supergiant game. That game is not a roguelike. Hades, definitely a roguelike. But Risk of Rain, very fun roguelike. I don't know if you can really call it a TPS, because it's not like you're in TPS point of view like you were playing Dead Space or something. Dead Space is also great, by the way. I didn't put it on the list, but I love Dead Space. Risk of Rain is just really fucking fun. The amount of total carnage you can inflict on these random aliens is the most satisfying thing in the world. Yeah, if you've never played Risk of Rain 2 even once, you do not know what you would be getting into if you tried to. But it is so much fun. It also is like the kind of game that I wish Nintendo would just wholesale copy Risk of Rain 2 and slap a Metroid Code of Pain onto it. If they ever like made a new Metroid Prime Hunters, I want it to be Risk of Rain. Like, I just want it to be exactly that. Because the aesthetics just line up so well, and it would be so much fucking fun. If they put Risk of Rain on Switch, and they give you like a bonus player that is Samus, I'm sold. I will buy it a third time. Transistor. I've not played Hades. I've not played Bastion. I've not played the other one, but I have played Transistor. And Supergiant Games is one of the better indie studios working today, because holy shit, Transistor is gorgeous. It has a beautiful aesthetic. The soundtrack is incredible. The vibes are just so... I can't describe it. I can't describe how beautiful the vibes get. I really like the combat system. I like that there is... The way this combat works is you get a whole bunch of like individual abilities that you can set up as like scheduling. Like there's a moment where you freeze time and you can just schedule a bunch of these individual abilities. Like you pause the game essentially and it turns into an active time battle system like Final Fantasy, where you're planning on a whole bunch of different moves. So it's like borderline RTS or something, but also just an action, not really RPG, but like, I really don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely worth your time. Check it out. No Straight Roads is a fave. No Straight Roads is it's not a proper rhythm game, it is a rhythmic action game. A rhythmic, like, hack and slash, sort of. Like, not exactly hack and slash, but it's almost there. And the aesthetic is beautiful, as you can see. It's just crazy to look at. The music is fantastic. I love the stylized character designs. I love the just sheer style of the entire world. It feels really good to play. It's a very, like, it's lighter on content, which is not a bad thing, necessarily. It's not a super long game. It doesn't have a ton to do. It's mostly just the big boss fights and the levels before them. You should definitely still play it, though. It's a good like one or two stream game. You can basically do everything that is available to you in like 2 or 3 streams. And if you really want to just lock in and get it done in one, it's perfectly possible, I think. You can experience the main story of it, I think, in a single stream, and then you can just go back and visit everything else about it. But it's definitely something to check out. Speaking of single stream games that I really like, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I talk this game up a lot because it is very cute and wholesome and a great like one-off stream idea. I got it done in one. Gameplay very simple, easy to pick up, but also just immediately charming, and just you'll fall in love with this world so fast. It's beautiful. It's got a great sense of humor. The music is great. I don't really know what else I can do to recommend this game to you. It's just a lot of fun. Check it out. And check out the sequel, Turnip Boy Robs the Bank that time. I have to play that. Okay, time for the big one. The moment you've actually been waiting for, and the real answer to your question, after I've rambled on for half an hour, is The World Ends With You. And it's way overdue sequel, Neo The World Ends With You. I love everything about these games. I have almost no notes. I definitely think that they could use some like general accessibility settings like most games could. But otherwise, it's fantastic. They're both so excellent. If you want to check these out, I will say that the best way to legally access them, they are both on the Switch. The first game has the most complete version of the first game is the Switch version. It has a lot more content that is not in any other version, and there's definitely an argument to be made that that is the version you should get. Here's the problem. It does run on motion controls, and they are not as fluid or as... I think the big issue is a lot of us that played the original are so used to how that works, because it is also not a very user-friendly system to try and learn, because it's on a DS, right? So there is simultaneous combat that happens on the top and bottom screen that you have to use both hands to worry about and like divert your attention between them. That's really cool, but it is something that takes a lot of work to wrap your head around. I think it's definitely worth the effort to put in if you are able to make that happen. But I can also understand why some people might be turned off by that. There are options in the DS version where you can limit the amount of necessary inputs that you have to do on the top screen. So you can just focus on learning the bottom screen, and then later you can build up to figuring out how to work in the top screen. I don't think I ever had to do that though. I think I picked it up pretty quickly. Okay, the necessary disclaimer out of the way for like accessibility reasons. These games are fucking fantastic. I love seriously everything about them. I love the aesthetic. I love the character designs. They are some of Tetsuya Nomura, the Kingdom Hearts guys' best work. The world, this stylized version of Shibuya Japan is incredible. It's so much fun to just explore. You can buy like realistic looking clothes and just swap them onto your character. It doesn't show models or sprites, but it's there. And a lot of the fashion available is really fucking cool looking. You can buy food to raise stats. Food that looks really good. This is the game that got me into ramen. Like, it did more to make me hooked on ramen than Naruto ever did. There's like a whole love letter to ramen in the first game. Like, a whole subplot. It's just like, hey, ramen good. The music. If you are here because you are an enjoyer of music and what I do to music, listen to these games. Listen to the soundtracks of these games. They will blow you away. If you've been on my streams back in the day, you've definitely heard at least 2 or 3 songs from this game. I really don't know what else to say. Know as little about it going in as possible. If you've played Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, you already know too much. It did not handle that well. I will say that. I'm glad that the characters made it in. I think that more of them deserve to make it in. I think that this fucker over here, who was the best character, should absolutely have been a secret boss. I really want more. That's my thing. I want more of these. I want so many more of these games because they're the best. They're the best games. Okay, I will shut up about this for a while. Except I won't because somebody else asked me his least favorite game. I like that somebody dared. I like that Mads, friend of the channel, I like that Mads dared to ask what game I dislike the most or like the least. And I will say this, I'm not super interested in just clowning on a game for no reason. I can make myself visible now. I'm not super interested in like dogpiling onto a game. I don't want to do that. Like, I'm playing Sonic 06 right now. I don't need to tell you guys why that game is bad, but I'm having a good time with it. So, when it comes to what I consider my least favorite video games, it's the games that I have the worst time on. And I didn't put this on the slide, but an honorable mention for that is any Soulsborne. Any Souls-like. I am not a Souls-like fan. Like, more power to you if that is your thing. I'm glad that so many people care so much about those games. I'm glad that Ghost of Tsushima exists. I would definitely try out that one. That's the one that I'm most interested in getting to. But when it comes to this, it's about games that I have had the worst times with, and that comes down to two things: the Prince of Persia games and Mirror's Edge, both of which rely pretty heavily on a parkour system that is, in my experience, pretty precise and easy to mess up. I had a legendarily terrible time trying to figure out the Sands of Time, and because I already had such a bad time with the Sands of Time, when I tried to start Warrior Within, I gave up almost immediately because it was so much worse. I do not think that these games are bad. I had a very bad experience with them, so I am not the most excited about playing them. That being said, Mirror's Edge has some incredible music. I already talked about Churches. They did the theme song for the prequel, and it's one of my favorite songs that they've ever done. So, no shade, no, like, shaming you guys for playing them and enjoying them. I'm very glad that you're able to play them and enjoy them if you have. And I would recommend that you try them for yourself if you have not. I am not interested in playing them unless I am challenging myself to have a particularly bad time as a financial incentive for you guys to give me money. Okay. Zibbity Zab does some fun work in like the death battle sphere. Just like making fun little death battles, and wanted to know if I had any thoughts on the debate between who would actually win between Mario and Sonic. And the answer is far and away Sonic. Holy shit, it's not even close. If Sonic has even a single ring and is able to hold on to it, Mario's fucked. If Mario has a mushroom and a fire flower and all that stuff, all Sonic has to do is punch him 3 times, and that's it. Punch him hard enough to knock out those items 3 times, and Sonic wins. Sonic has dealt with much bigger and consistently more powerful threats than Mario is capable of being. Look at Sonic Frontiers and tell me that Mario isn't cooked. That's all I gotta say. I could go on way longer and be like way more pedantic about this, but at the end of the day, the most simple logic possible is if Sonic is holding onto a ring, there is nothing Mario could do. Alright, friend of the channel, Ryan, wanted to know my favorite gaming experience, and this is gonna sound really, really Tumblr of me. Not necessarily in a bad way. Well, okay, my favorite... Actually, let me see what he exactly said. What was your favorite gaming experience? Could be a personal or social one. A personal being on your own time, social being in a group with something... Well, a group or with someone else or something. And I've had a lot of really good gaming experiences. El Horso was created from a really good gaming experience. But I think the one that means the most to me is the times when I tried to participate or run in games of the Homestuck tabletop RPG that I believe was and still is called Table Stuck. That game does Homestuck a favor of divorcing it from its creator, who I believe I have expressed my vocal distaste for on a few occasions. I do not like Andrew Hussey as an author. That is part of why I decided to do my fundraiser where I just read all of Homestuck on stream, which is still going on, and you should definitely go follow my Twitch and my subscribe to my VOD channel to catch up on that. The worst part of Homestuck is the person writing it. I think that that's definitely an accurate summation of my feelings on Homestuck. The setting and the system that Andrew Hussey created is phenomenal. It is so much fun to just explore and just to think about. I really love what Spurb is. And I love the potential of stories that can be told using it as a framework. That is the best part of Homestuck to me. So the fact that it's a tabletop system that is just that distilled, you can just have that and then build your own stories around it, that's an instant winner. And I had a great time with it. That's how I made a lot of really cool friends, at least one of which is still hanging around because they're in the fucking Homestuck readings with me. They drew me. They made my logo. That's how we met. So, if nothing else, gaining a potentially lifelong friend from a single tabletop game, that's gotta be a favorite gaming experience, right? So, that's my answer. My favorite gaming experience is Blair. Mads wants to know my favorite drink. So, I believe the specific question was, how do you prepare your favorite drink? And listed e.g. hot cocoa, coffee, tea. Mads, you listed 3 things that I don't drink. So what I decided to do with this question is instead explain to you why I don't like those drinks. I don't like hot drinks, period. The only hot drink I like is a nice spiced apple cider. And I have to be in a specific mood to enjoy that. I also don't drink alcohol consistently, and I haven't in a very long time. Mostly I'm just rocking with water these days, and also Gatorade. Gatorade's a big one. I regularly keep Gatorade stocked in my house. I had a very big soda phase for about a decade of my life. I was not a soda fan for a very long time, and I was a big soda fan for a very long time. And now I'm just like, I appreciate soda. I like it every once in a while. I'll grab a pineapple Doritos, or obviously Faygo. I love Faygo. But mostly I'm just rocking with the water and Gatorade, and I'm okay with that. But the best soda I've ever had is pineapple watermelon Faygo, which I do not believe has been available in my market for basically since I finished college, or left college. No, it was a little after that. It was closer to 2020, I think, is when they completely vanished from the South. It's so good, though. I'm a sucker for watermelon anything. Like the fakey watermelon flavor that they put in stuff. I love. One of my favorite Gatorades is the strawberry watermelon one that I get pretty consistently. Watermelon Jelly Ranchers. Yeah, just any of that. And pineapple watermelon Faygo tastes exactly like the watermelon Jolly Rancher with pineapple in it. And I also love pineapple. I love pineapple Doritos, like I said. So, instant winner. Runner up, another drink I really like is Dublin Cherry Limeade. Get that. If you have like a Rocket Fizz near you, get that. It's super, super good. Back on the Homestuck train, Alora also wanted to know my favorite Homestuck character, and if you are on the team, if you are on the reading team, specifically Eli and Cinder I'm talking to, and you are not familiar with all of these characters, or if you are watching the VODs and don't know what Homestuck is, I would prefer that you not hear me talk about this, just for the sake of spoilers. But it is definitely Terezi. I used to be a Vriska defender. I did. I will now say that, obviously, she did a lot of fucked shit that I don't approve of, and I think that she's a really bad person at the start. I love what the rest of the narrative does to her character, and she is consistently one of the more entertaining characters to watch and read, but I don't feel as strong of a connection to her as I used to. Whereas Terezi is a meme lord that just wants to do the right thing. She's a little bit of a cop about it, and I don't love that, but she's still super fun, super annoying, has very like Peridot characteristics about her in terms of like a lot of like the fan interpretation of the voice is the same, but she's definitely got like, when Peridot's being an asshole, it feels like when Terezi's being an asshole, and I love that. Peridot is one of my favorite Steven Universe characters, so this is all definitely a compliment. Yeah, I love Terezi. If I have to pick one of the kids, if I have to pick one of the first round of kids, it's definitely Rose. And if I have to pick one of the second round of kids, again, if you're not aware of this, don't listen to me. It's Roxy. Roxy's my favorite. Big shock. I like the pink one. Okay. Favorite genre of music from Blizzard on Fire. Thank you, Blizzard on. I'm only gonna call you Charizard forever. Yeah, that's just what's your favorite genre of music? Okay. I've been really appreciating hip hop recently, but I've mostly been appreciating whatever you call Fatboy Slim. Whatever Fatboy Slim did back in the day, whatever the Kembros were doing back in the day. I guess that's Big Beat. I like Big Beat. Big Beat is a lot of fun. That's mostly what I'm vibing with now. I also just really like, 90s style of hip hop, and into the 2000s. Basically, whatever MF Doom did was pretty great. I was super big into like the big pop punk bands of my youth. I'll go to bat for Fall Out Boy any day. I love MCR. You guys know exactly how much I love Paramore. There's a lot of like 90s alt that I'm into right now. Mostly just like the Riot Girl scene. I've wanted to get more into like Veruca Salt and them. I really love Garbage specifically. I love Garbage. The first two Garbage albums have been pretty consistently on repeat every so often for the past like year, almost two. I like some like prog rock shit. I like Yes. I like Rush. This is like straddling a line, but I really like Coheed and Cambria. That's like prog metal almost. But I think consistently the answer has to be EDM, and I don't know how to like narrow it down. I like I said earlier, I like Complextro, like whatever Maddyon does. I like Porter, obviously. You guys know I love Porter Robinson. I guess French Touch is probably like the closest thing I have to a favorite genre, like Daft Punk, Justice, that kind of vibe. I really love that. I especially love. You guys might have noticed this about some of the stuff I said, but I really love the art of sampling. Sampling as an art form is so fascinating and cool to me. I love the way that hip hop does it. I love the way that those Big Beat guys used to do it. I love the way that Daft Punk and Justice do it. Any genre that makes good use of sampling is definitely a plus for me. We done? Yeah, we're done. Okay. Thank you guys all for participating. This was a lot of fun. I rambled on about a lot of different games that I think you guys should all check out, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you guys for all that you've done to support the channel. Thank you to everybody that's been donating to my Ko-Fi. I would appreciate a few more of those, please, but thank you all to everybody that has. I'm probably going to do more of these. This is a lot of fun. I like taking the opportunity to just talk about stuff that isn't directly related to mashups or to the streams or to the podcast that I'm working on, or to just... I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I have a lot of opinions on things, and I really want to hear you guys' opinions on stuff. Answer these questions for yourself. Tell me all the stuff that you guys want to tell me in the comments. It's really fun, and I love being able to have like a direct one-on-one, not really, but like back and forth with you guys. I love having that. Man, what if I started doing these live? Would that be cool? What if I jumped in a Discord call with a bunch of people? Like, what if I set up a Discord stage and you guys just gave me questions in real time? I don't know. We'll see. But this is really fun, and I'll see you guys in 2025 for some more. So originally, that was going to be it. I was going to thank you guys for all that you've done and leave you guys hanging for however long until I have something else to show you guys, which should be pretty soon, actually. I might have a couple one-off tracks, or not one-off tracks, on the way. But I cut the original thank you segment because I was going to end up repeating myself, because I have a lot more to say. And the reason I have more to say is that because of every single one of you guys, everybody that has shown up, everybody that has spread the word either about me or about El Horso, everybody that has helped, been there for us, laughed at something that I've made, felt something real at something that I've made, been present for a stream since the beginning in 2022, just everybody that's had our backs. we are doing it. The move is scheduled. The move is essentially underway. The move is real. We have a flight planned for Eli to come get me, and I'm in the process of fixing up my car so that I can make the drive. And we've got a pod ordered to deliver my stuff. So it's real. I really don't know how to express the profound gratitude for everybody that's been a part of this journey with us, that's had our backs from the beginning. And it's there, I promise. You know, words normally a thing that I'm pretty good at. Right now, it's a struggle. Just thank you guys. Being able to make all this stuff that means so much to so many people is exactly what I've always wanted. And the fact that this dream is becoming real, not just for me but for Eli, is really just a crystallization of the fact that that other dream has come to pass. And that doesn't happen alone. It really doesn't. I've already privately reached out to several people that I wanted to thank directly for their role in this, but just as a blanket statement, if you're hearing this, thanks for everything. Whether you fucking donated $1,000 like Astronaut, or you just showed up and wanted to offer me a little extra support in whatever verbal, emotional, mental, whatever, in whatever way that you did. Just thank you for everything.